Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Judy Whitman with JBW Designs. I'm working on video number 8, which is hard for me to believe. Never thought I'd be able to accomplish this, but here we go. So it takes me quite a while actually to get everything set up to show you each time, but hopefully it's worth it. And I'm so grateful for all the views and subscribers and comments. So I first want to start out with telling you a little bit about what our Christmas was like, because I was quite nervous. Of course, like many of you, I'm sure had to give up so much. We were very lucky. The Sunday before Christmas is our granddaughter Ellie's, it was her 12th birthday, and we were trying to figure out how to celebrate. And we finally came up with a wonderful plan. We met downtown in Kalamazoo at Bronson Park, and each family brought hot chocolate, and I brought cookies because I couldn't picture us eating cake with forks and plates and napkins while we were walking around the park. There aren't any chairs down there. And so we were able to be together outside. We all had our masks on. And we took some great pictures by one of the churches that's right across from the park. So that was the start of our celebration. And then a couple days later, we always in the past have baked cookies together. All the grandchildren come to my house and we bake sugar cookies and decorate them. And I always get such a kick out of this story because quite a few years ago, I asked my oldest grandson, who's in his 20s, early 20s, I would understand if he didn't want to do that anymore. And he said, "Oh, Nana, I plan to do this until I'm 32. So I love that. He loves the tradition of it. But this year we couldn't gather. So we did a Zoom cookie baking, and surprisingly, it worked out quite well. We had setups at 3 different houses. We actually baked and talked and decorated and visited with one another for almost 2 hours, and every household had a wonderful batch of cookies when they were done. And so that was a lot of fun. And then for Christmas, we were very lucky because our children and grandchildren live nearby, but there are so many of us. We usually, when we gather, we have not only our family and our grandchildren, but my sister and her friend. And so there are 15 of us, and we couldn't do that. So this year, we divided the immediate family into 3 separate groups. And so we would have a group come like at 1 o'clock, a small group, and we would sit far apart from one another in the family room with our masks on. And we just had a few hors d'oeuvres for snacks, and we again sat far apart. And so we were able to see not all together, but sections of the family during the day. And that was just a wonderful thing to do. So I'm very grateful for what we were able to have together. So some time ago, one of the comments asked me if I ever stitched anything that was designed by other cross-stitch designers. And the answer is yes, I do. Now, I don't have much time to do that. Because most of the time I'm working on my own models, but I have evidence here because when I was taking down part of the Christmas decorations, I thought, oh, wait till they see this pile. So I love the shepherd's bush stockings, and since we have such a large family, you're going to see that I've done stockings for every single person in the family. So we have Mark and Eliana and Cody. This is a little awkward here, and Ashton, and Craig, and Chris, and Brenda, and Tristan, there are a lot of them, and Liam, and my husband Dick, and Wyatt, and our newest member Kylie, and then one for myself. So I will admit that these have been done not in a single year, let me put them down here, but over many, many, many years. I mean, I started out with just our immediate family, and then as grandchildren came along, so I've probably been doing them for, who knows, 20 years or so. But I love how they look, and everyone in our family, even if you're an adult, gets a stocking. They do not want to give up that tradition, so I'm willing to keep going with that. So even though Christmas is over, I have one more little Christmas set of designs I'm going to show you, and then we'll take a break from Christmas and we'll move on to some other topics. But I thought, oh, you might still want to see these. And even though Christmas is over, maybe you're thinking about projects for next year. I'm sure all of you stitchers have a stash that is enough to last you until you're 210. So, oh well, I like to inspire you. So I talked in one of the earlier videos, and this is in regards to stockings, about the fact that I had this series, and it's called Sing a Song. And there are 14 stockings in the series now. And so each year I add 2 or 3. And so I thought I'd show you some of the earlier ones. So this was actually, whoops, there's a little tag stuck on the back of it, Frosty the Snowman, and that was published in 2016. So usually I do 2 or 3 a year. And they're fun to do, they don't take very long. And if you order it from your local shop, the charms that go with it will come in the booklet. So I'm just going to show you a few of those to inspire you, hopefully, in the future. This is another one. I'm trying not to repeat anything, so hopefully I'm not, but you'll bear with me. So this is another design in the series, Sing a Song. This is Away in a Manger, and I love the gold trim on this. My finishers always do a fabulous job. That's a ruche trim, and it just looks beautiful with the design. So that is that little stocking. And then let's see, here's another one I did, not this year, but last year. And I love this one because this is one of my favorite Christmas songs. It's Little Drummer Boy. And you can see what it looks like on the back. It's got a little hanger here for it. And then this is what the booklet looks like that goes with Little Drummer Boy. So you'll find out as you watch more and more of my videos, as I talk to you about the design process, that I have to do many charts before I finally get to the one that looks right. And it's a process, and it's true for all designers. But once we feel like everything is looking just the way we want it to, then we can start working on the models. So I'm going to just show you 2 more of that series. This was also done in 2018. And this is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, of course, a classic for children. And then there's one more in that series I'm going to show you. No, I have 2 more here. Let's see, I have, I Saw 3 Ships A-Sailing. I love how that one turned out. That was a fun one to work on. And then the last one I have for you, actually I talked about this in an earlier video, but I didn't have the model at the time. So this was one that was done for this year, We Three Kings, and at the time the model was at a trunk show. So here is what the stitched model looks like for the We Three Kings design. So as I said, there are 14 little stockings in that series. So now I have a whole nother topic that I want to review with you, or share with you rather, and that is antique samplers. I actually have reproduced very few antique samplers, but I love them. It's hard to tell in my office, but I have a collection there of mainly red and white samplers. I have another collection over here on this wall of red and white. For some reason that appeals to me. And I have been lucky enough to purchase some antique samplers that I have either done an adaptation of or a reproduction of. And so I thought I would share some of those with you today because that's a little different take on what I usually show you. I usually have been showing you very small pieces, and actually there are times when I have done fairly large pieces, and I'll be sharing those with you in the weeks ahead, of course. So this one this is quite large, I have to get this all balanced here, is obviously French, and I did quite a bit of research on this piece. I bought this through a dealer in the Netherlands, and I absolutely love the piece. For one thing, I am enamored, as you know, let me put this down over here, with alphabets. I'm not sure why, I just love them. I love all the different types there are, etc. So this particular one is very, very interesting because if you study it, you will see, as it is true with many older samplers, that it is missing several letters. And it's missing the I, it's missing the W, and quite a few of the letters in the lower alphabet are missing. It was done in 1911. I'm going to lay it down because it's quite heavy. And I'm going to show you the reproduction in a minute. It was done, I'm sure, by a little girl because the back had many, many hanging threads on it. I was able to locate the name of the town, which is actually on the sampler. And please be patient with me. I love everything French, but I cannot speak it at all. So when I try to pronounce a French word, I know that I mangle it terribly. So please be patient. I know somebody will call or write to me and say, Judy, this is how you should have said it. But this right here, Romagnat, is the name of the city where it was stitched. And when I did the pattern for this, I wrote about it. I actually used to do blogs, and I wrote about it on the blog. And I wrote about quite a bit of the history of the sampler, as much as I could find out. And someone from France actually wrote to me and said that the name on the sampler, which is Bellar, B-E-L-L-A-R, is actually a very common name in this city. And this city is a small town in the south central section of France. There were only 9,000 people there. But when I read about the history, Napoleon had been there to visit, and it was quite fascinating. It really was. So there are very few colors in this piece. You'll see there's some greens, some reds, and that really, oh, you know what? I'm showing you two different things. Oh dear, I'm really mixed up now, aren't I? All right, let me pull that one aside because, no, I'm okay. I haven't lost it yet, have I? Oh, I might have lost it. Oh, bear with me. Let's see. So yes, this is the sampler that goes with this piece, but I did an adaptation of it. So when I stitched the piece, I'm sorry I'm so confused today. I did an adaptation and I included the letters that were missing. And so when I did the adaptation, I did only the capital letters, and then on the inside of the chart, I included the lowercase, and I also included, you'll see on the chart, several other alphabets that you could use for yourself for just making it your very own and putting your own names on it if you wanted to. So, my goodness. My grandchildren will love this. They love it when I make mistakes. They think it's quite funny. So I hope you do too. So this is the adaptation. And of course, when it was restitched, the colors are quite vibrant. I just love how it looks. It's been a wonderful piece. And that design is called the French Alphabet Sampler. And as I say, I don't do that many adaptations or reproductions. So I just have a few over the next months to show you that fall into that category. So I also, about 2 years ago, was able to buy another alphabet sampler. And this one I've never had framed, and I should. Let me kind of show you all the alphabets on this one. And I loved this because it actually had two very, very different styles of alphabets on the piece. And I did not reproduce this as it is here. I actually wrote 2 booklets and did, again, adaptations using these alphabets. And I'm going to share those adaptations that I did with you next week. But I want you to study the back of the piece, because you can see all the little hanging threads that were on it. And again, I'm guessing it was probably done by a young girl, although it has a really sweet border on it and like a hand-tatted edge. So it's really quite a nice piece. So I will share those with you next week. So what else is on my list of things to talk about? Let's see here. What's in the works? Well, I've been working hard since the last set of releases, which were probably November, to get ready for the next set. And I'm not exactly sure what that date will be. I have 3 new designs that are finished, and I'm sending them off to the finishers and the framers. I'm working on the next 2 designs. Those are underway. And I'm going to give you a little hint because I love to collect things. I have collections all over my office. If you can look above my windows there, I have trays, antique trays. On the windows, there's I collect antique linens, and I use those for the valances. So one of the other things that I like to collect is something called chintz-ware. And it's English, it comes in many, many different patterns. This one is particularly sweet because it looks like cross stitch. And it's called, let's see, Petty Point. That's the name of that pattern. So as I say, I have quite a few of these pieces, and I liked them so much, and I liked the colors, that this is the inspiration for one of the new designs that's coming up. So that's just a little hint of what to look forward to. Let's see, we have some winners from last week, and I want to talk about those gals that won. Your comments were just wonderful. I asked you to tell me about joys that were in your life, and Liz said that stitching kept her sane, and so she is going to be receiving the 2 ornament collection books. And then also Mimi is our other winner, and she also is going to receive these same 2 titles. So if you ladies will email me, Judy@JBW Designs, and give me your address, then I will mail them off in this next week. And Mimi talked about the fact that she was grateful for her health, shelter, food, and her children. So it was very satisfying to read about the small joys that people have been able to find. One, a gal's son had graduated from medical school. Another one, her daughter had found a partner after many, many years. They were just wonderful stories, so you'll have to read the comments. Let's see, what else do I want to tell you about? What am I going to do over this holiday weekend? If you're like me, I've got a long list of projects. I have to finish taking down the Christmas decorations and get those put away. I must organize my models downstairs in the basement because they are absolute mess. It's driving me crazy. So I'm going to take a couple hours to work on that. I love to do puzzles, so I finished one puzzle. I've started another. I'm kind of funny about puzzles. Once I start them, I can't let them go. So I don't allow myself to do them very often because I would be down there puzzling for hours on end. So, and then I plan to stitch, of course. And I hope that you have some good plans on your calendar too for the next few days. I want to wish you a Happy New Year. I also want to thank you for subscribing, for watching the videos, for asking questions, and just making this really a fun project for me to do. So thanks again. Hope all is well. Bye-bye.